The following podcast is brought to you by the Backbreaker Media Video on Demand channel. Visit backbreakervod.pivotshare.com for all your latest CWC, MPW, and PPW wrestling action. And enter the code Holiday Cheer for not only a 2-week free trial, but also 25% off your first month. That is backbreakervod.pivotshare.com.
Time to do the job. Time to do the job. Behold the jobber of jobbers. Danimal Jobber.
What's up, everybody? This is the Edmonton area's own D-Job, Daniel Jobber, here with the WWE Clash of Champions Review and Results Show. Hope you had a chance to check out the pay-per-view. Wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as it looked like it was going to be on paper. They put on some good matches, and all in all, a pretty good show. Booking was interesting. I mean, some of it, and it was just plain, predictable. But the show itself was entertaining, I found. And once again, I'm proud to be affiliated with Backbreaker Media, formerly known as Edmonton Sports Podcast Network. Mike the Ref's own concoction. So afterwards I'll talk a little bit about the on-demand content that he's cooking up, premium content. But I will get into that after I've had a chance to talk about the matches. And of course I want to talk a little bit as well again about the situation with the sports ban in Edmonton, because that's a big issue still, and one that's going to affect us Edmonton area people up to a year. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. So, but anyways, let's get into the review of the card. So those of you that aren't interested in this other stuff can get what you came for. So first off, the kickoff show, we had Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley going at it. The breakup of the Night Bros. Gotta be honest, I didn't watch the preview show, the kickoff show. Usually I do, but there's lots going on, and of course there was the game in the NFL that was pretty tense with the Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers battling for the AFC. Tons of controversy at the end of that game. If you haven't seen that yet, go back and check it out. That was quite the finish. But anyways, apparently Zack Ryder got a good fight, and Mojo Rawley took home the victory. So obviously not going to agree to match I didn't see, but as I predicted, Mojo Rawley did get the victory. I think he had the most defeat off of, I don't know what they're going to do with him. Like some people have said, they're not really inspired by either of these two gentlemen. Mojo Rawley had his time, and who knows what he's going to do with that little heel push there. I guess the only reason his heels are more valuable right now. There aren't enough good ones. So why not? So anyways, on the kickoff show, Mojo Rawley over Zack Ryder. And the show surprisingly opened up with two big multi-man championship matches, and a really big surprise right after that to get people, what kind of thing. So first of all, they had the tag team championship fatal four-way between the Usos, who are champions, the New Day, the Rusev and Aiden English. It's Rusev Day! And Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. And this was probably the match of the night. Definitely match of the night. Yeah, it was very entertaining. All you could ask in a fatal four-way. It was a proper fatal four-way, which 4 men in the ring are alive or in the ring at the same time, active, and they can only tag their own partner. Not like those ones in the past where we only tag in one guy at a time from any team, and you had to choose which guy it was. It never really made any sense to me. Why would you, if you're only your team, you only want your team to win, why would you tag in the guy from the other team and give them a chance? It made no sense to have people having to tag in other people's tag teams, like fight partners. I never really understood that fatal four-way style. So yeah, the way it should be. 4 active people and 4 not active people. And of course, Chaos erupts every now and again, and you have up to 8, battling it out. Really good match, exciting spots all over the place, false finish, breakups. Everybody had a chance to look good. Even Chad Gable put on a show with lots of those super German suplex things he does. Wow, I mean, it looked like he was going to take it home for a while there. And, of course, Aiden English had his moments to look great. Rusev looked really good. And Rusev is getting a good pop from the crowd. And the crowd is really into this. Boston did a really good job of being in on this match. The New Day, their usual thing, did a lot of cheering for Big E. And of course, the Usos. I mean, there really wasn't a heel tag team in this match. Everybody seemed to be, loved by somebody. And the crowd was in it for everybody. It was like just a real buzz in this match. Finally, the big... Sorry, I have the wrong order. I'm reading the order that I had predicted them in. I apologize. I have actually in the second match, and this was not a surprising match. Anyways, sorry. I'll get to the opening match right after this then, because that was the one that had the surprising ending. But anyways, yeah, this match of the night, and even contrary to my figuring that they would give the New Day another championship run, in the end the Usos retained. They hit their big moves from the top rope, and they were left in the ring with Chad Gable after he went on a tear with his super German suplexes. And they pinned the 3 count on Chad Gable, retained their titles, still doing a really good run with the championship, half heel, half, tag team of the year, babyface. I don't know how to describe the Usos. They're just entertaining, and they're not the New Day, which is surprising that, you can be entertaining without being over the top. Well, I guess they're over top in their own way, but, the Usos... Great job. Were they tag team champions of SmackDown still? Anyways, I apologize. The opening match was actually the triple threat for the U.S. Championship, and that was a surprising one. Between Baron Corbin, the champion, Bobby Roode, glorious Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. And that's not a bad match. Oh, by the way, the tag team match, I gave it an A-. It was a really good match of the night. A- was that one. But anyways, the triple threat. Not quite as good of a match that opened the show, but it was pretty entertaining. I mean, a lot of triple threats are. Lots of, close finishes. All 3 guys had a chance to look good. Dolph Ziggler had some really good moments where it looked like he was going to win, at various parts throughout the match, which was, and of course I was saying, Dolph, you're not going to get the 3 count. And he kept breaking it up. Baron Corbin had his time to look good too as champion. But surprisingly, in the end, Bobby Roode looked like he was going to win for a while. He didn't. Baron Corbin actually hits the end of day on Bobby Roode, or post at the end of day, and out of nowhere comes Ziggler with the zigzag on Baron Corbin while he's doing the end of days to Bobby Roode. Zigzags Baron Corbin, pins Baron Corbin for the 3 count. Dolph Ziggler becomes the new United States champion. Never saw it coming. I had no idea why they'd want to make Dolph Ziggler U.S. champion, especially when the thoughts are he's going to leave WWE. So I can't answer that. I don't know where WWE's going with that with booking. Started the night off with a surprise. Go figure. Dolph Ziggler is the new United States champion. I mean, why not have a heel United States champion that's different than Baron Corbin? He wasn't taking it anywhere. The fans were so behind Bobby Roode. Actually, believe it or not, they were actually also... And Boston was in this whole match. They were cheering the whole way against booing Corbin, cheering for Bobby Roode, and also there's a lot of people that were cheering for Dolph Ziggler. So it was a match where, once again, the Boston crowd was just so into it. And yeah, there was actually a good amount of cheering for Dolph Ziggler when he won the United States Championship. Who knew? So yeah, that was a great way to start the card off with a shock and get people realizing that, wow. And so I predicted the only title change would be the tag team one, and it turned out to be the U.S. title going to Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, and of course at the end, Baron Corbin cut a promo either in the match or behind stage, I can't remember which it was, saying that he blames Dolph Ziggler for taking it away, and he's going to get him. So maybe we'll see on Tuesday what's going to happen with Baron Corbin going after Dolph Ziggler to get his title back and blaming him. And of course, still has things to settle with Bobby Roode, so maybe this isn't over. Anyways, pretty good match. I only gave that one a B-. It was good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't the tag team match, which was just beginning to end excitement. And of course, the three guys put on a pretty good show, but they're not the same caliber as some of those guys in the tag team match. So, but yeah, that was the opening match. D-. Dolph Ziggler becomes the U.S. champion. And of course, the tag team match came after that. And that was the match of the night with an A-. And the Usos retaining the tag team title. So then that's how the show kicked off. And then we had the women's championship in the Lumberjill match. I never did mention that on my predictions show. It was actually a lumberjack match, or lumberjill match. The entire roster around the ring, including the Riot Squad and all the the conflicts going on. Really, they were just there to fight each other. There wasn't anything. I mean, yeah, they did a little bit of number on Charlotte at times, made it look more against her. And they spent more time fighting each other and trying to create drama, extra drama outside the ring than against the competitors. Took away from the match a little bit, but also added something. I don't know. The match itself was good. I mean, it was okay. Certainly not one of Charlotte and Natalia's best matches, but it was entertaining enough. A little bit of back and forth. Natalya puts the sharpshooter on Charlotte. Looks like, it didn't hold it for a long time. Finally, Charlotte escapes. It looked like Natalya could win, for what it's worth. And then Charlotte comes back, puts the figure 8 on on Natalya. Natalya fights her a few seconds and then taps out. And that's pretty much the end of the time that she had as women's champion. She had a rematch now. It's over. Charlotte is a very worthy champion going into the WrestleMania season. Going to face somebody amazing at WrestleMania, I'm pretty sure. I don't see any reason to take the title off her. Unless, of course, don't forget it. And I didn't mention it either on my preview. We still have Carmella with Money in the Bank waiting to cash it in. And she has to cash it in within 2 months after WrestleMania because that's the next Money in the Bank. So it's either going to be now, in the couple months for WrestleMania, at WrestleMania, or in the 2 months after. And if they have Charlotte cooked for a really big match at WrestleMania and they wanted to have the title, and we can pretty much take it to the bank, it's going to be after WrestleMania, the Money in the Bank's cashed in, or maybe at the end of WrestleMania. But if it's a big main event, do they want to mess with it and end the impact of it, like say it was Ronda Rousey or something, by having having Carmella cash in? I don't know. I have no idea what they're really going with it. Carmella's heat's already starting to cool off. They wasted the chance to her to cash in while she was super hot. So now they just have to carry the story out at some point. And yeah, if Charlotte's got a big match at WrestleMania and they want her to have the title, it's not going to be before WrestleMania, so it'll be like, last minute, hey, there's Carmella, now she's champion. Or, now she fails, and what was the point? So, first women's Money in the Bank kind of fizzled out already before it's even been cashed in. What can you do? Anyways, it wasn't the best match, but it wasn't the worst. I gave him a C+, so I gave him actually, as good as it could be, except for a match that was just a lot of filler, I kind of felt. And then we had, I can't remember if that was before or after the Fashion Police and the Bludgeon Brothers. Either way, it doesn't matter. They were both, one was first and the other one was second. The Bludgeon Brothers and the Fashion Police was as we thought. Actually, more of a squash match than I thought. The Bludgeon Brothers just destroyed the Fashion Police. Like outside the ring, moments in, they dropped. It was beautiful. They dropped Tyler Breeze on his beautiful, pretty face on the apron. Face first, just plummeted him down. Totally took him out of the match. Went back in, did their super slams and their double slams onto Fandango, pinned him for the 3 count, just destruction of the Fashion Police. Virtually no revenge whatsoever for all these months that they built up the Fashion Squad, the Fashion Files and all this stuff, and Fashion Peaks, and they're trying to figure out who the heck just trashed their police station, and really they got absolutely nothing out of it. That's the payoff after all these months, was the Fashion Police having a 2-minute match against the Bludgeon Brothers. Like, it was almost a build-up to the Bludgeon Brothers for some reason. And really, it was nothing, because it had nothing to do with the Bludgeon Brothers until recently, to the last show. So, whatever. It's entertainment, and it's entertaining, and it's what it is. But, yeah, and how do you give a grade to a squash match like that? I gave him a C. It was a good squash match. It just, because the Bludgeon Brothers are just fun to watch and beat the crap out of people, but it wasn't really much of a match per se. Anyways, whichever one was first and second, they were what they were, and then comes the main events, and these were pretty decent, pretty solid main events for the most part. First off, we had the match that could be the end of the careers for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, with two guest referees, the Commissioner Shane McMahon and the GM of SmackDown, Daniel Bryan, against Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton. Wow, it was a little bit of a, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, each guy had a chance to show off a little of what they do. It wasn't that. It was four great competitors. It was almost about the referees looking like fools and building their conflict together more than anything. Because I mean, right off the bat, right before they even had the match, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon talked going back and talking about how they're going to referee the match, how it's going to work with two referees. They didn't work anything out. They go into the ring and they're both flopping down on the ground. 1, 2, like total out of sync, laying on the mat. Total complete chaos. No coordination whatsoever. What did they talk about backstage? How they're going to referee the match? They hadn't figured out anything. And then, after all the ridiculous controversy about not knowing how to count, then all of a sudden Daniel Bryan says, "Eureka! Let's cut the ring in half, and I'll do half and you do half." Why couldn't they did they figure this out when they were backstage? So it was a little clumsy, but it was comedy, it was entertainment, it was just craziness, and building some strange feud between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon that nobody really understands, because it's doubtful Daniel Bryan's ever going to get to wrestle again. So what is the feud? The point of the feud? I mean, unless basically they're creating a faction with Daniel Bryan leading it, the Yep movement, and that's going to be a new stable, and Daniel Bryan's going to be against Shane McMahon with his little heel stable. I don't know, but it was clumsy, that part. In the end, they pulled it together though. In the end, after a pretty decent match, they had Shane McMahon actually. I'll say that Kevin Owens, I believe it was, maybe it was Sami Zayn, had a pin on I believe it was Randy Orton. Got to 2 count, and then Shane McMahon, even though it's sort of in the middle of the ring, or maybe even on Daniel Bryan's half, stops his hand midair, won't count to 3. Daniel Bryan loses it at this point. He's pushing his boss and shoving his boss, and you're a disgrace. Get fired much? Can you say, "You're fired"? But he didn't, of course, because entertainment. But anyways, so then Daniel Bryan kind of loses it, and while they're all squabbling, Kevin Owens, or Sami Zayn, Sami Zayn, you know what, the match was so chaos, I don't even remember anymore, rolls over Randy Orton from behind. Daniel Bryan goes right to the mat. 1, 2, 3, it's over. Ding, ding, ding. Shane McMahon's like, "What just happened? Dude, you refused to count to 3. The match should have been over. So what do you expect Daniel Bryan to do? Daniel, come to justice." He made the match end the way it should have. Of course, actually earlier on, some might argue that, I don't know, what was I saying? There was a pin that should have been a 3 count. Yeah, before all that happened, there was a pin that should have been a 3 count for Orton. Anyways, he had, I'm pretty sure it was Sami Zayn pin, or what is Kevin Owens? 1, 2, and then all of a sudden, it was Sami Zayn, because Kevin Owens pushes Daniel Bryan onto Shane McMahon, breaks up his count. Now, I understand, you count to 2 and someone falls on your back, it's going to disrupt your count. But if you want to cause these guys their career and make the match end, aren't you going to shrug it off and just finish your 3 count? Or worst case, the guy's out, start your count quickly and go 1, 2, 3 again after you wake up. But no, Daniel Bryan falls on top of him and he's yelling at Daniel Bryan for like a minute or 2 while Sami Zayn recovers. Why would you sit there and yell at your co-referee instead of getting the job done when your goal and your passion was in making sure these bad guys lost and got fired? it made no sense. He counts to 2, the guy falls on his back, and he stops his count, starts yelling at the other guy instead of finishing the count. So really, I guess one could argue, and certainly I bet you Shane McMahon will argue that it should have gone the way of Nakamura and Orton anyways, because he had the 3 count, he just got interrupted. So one could say, it wasn't my fault, it should have been 3. But it was your fault, Shane McMahon, because you should have just finished your count instead of yelling at Daniel Bryan for a minute or 2. So that was stupid. But anyways, he didn't count the 3 then, and he refused to count the 3 when the bad guys had the pin, and then Daniel Bryan, after yelling at him and pushing his boss and abusing him, which is silly because one, he can't wrestle and he shouldn't be taking bumps to begin with. So why is he, getting involved and pushing and getting physical? It just makes no sense. Anyways, then of course, like I said, he rolls him over, drops him down, 1, 2, 3. The bad guys win. The yep movement continues, and Daniel Bryan actually escapes the ring and starts celebrating with Owens and Sami Zayn. So I mean, maybe their purpose is to create a stable of Daniel Bryan. They're going to be his champions. He's going to be their leader or their manager. And they're making a manager out of Daniel Bryan, or trying to give him something that makes him feel like he's part of wrestling without wrestling. I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. I think Daniel Bryan still has his heart set on leaving and becoming a wrestler somewhere where they'll let him wrestle. But it is what it is. It's clumsy. It's weird. It's a decent match, but marred by that. But with all, of course, the controversy between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, I think that picks up the stock a little bit. Plus the fact that it was really good competitors doing what they do best. Lots of RKOs from Randy Orton, several anyways, really good ones. So I didn't totally poo-poo on this match. I gave it a B-, because it was decent anyway. But yeah, the clumsiness and the coordination of it, and maybe even the booking of it, just wonky and all weird. They should have planned and practiced it better, because it came across really clumsy. And like I said, how do referees make a plan of how they're going to referee a match and have no idea what they're doing when they get out there? I mean, I know that's the story, because storytelling, but oh well, what it was. I mean, if you like crazy chaos matches, go back and watch the match. It was different. And then finally, the main event of the evening was for the WWE Championship. AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal, the Maharaja. And, of course, phenomenal AJ Styles. And this match looked to be a pretty good match. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, neither one of these guys is actually, I shouldn't say one of these guys. AJ Styles is phenomenal. I mean, he is maybe the best wrestler in the world right now, for a lot of people saying, including myself. But Jinder Mahal is not, but he's, well built and strong, and he puts on a pretty good character, even if he is a little stiff at times. And excuse me. And so I mean, the match was pretty good, and Jinder Mahal gave it everything he had. I mean, he left everything in the ring as far as I could tell. Tried to end his run and his story pretty much with a bang. This match went on for quite a while, back and forth. The Singh brothers barely got involved at all. It was Jinder Mahal just giving it as a singles wrestler. AJ Styles doing a lot of his stuff. And actually, they sold the whole match. They sold Jinder Mahal beating the crap out of AJ early on and injuring his ribs and making him sore and unable to do half the things he could do. And the whole match, AJ Styles was selling how badly injured he was and how it was keeping him from doing the phenomenal things he usually does. But he barely managed to do his, instead of a phenomenal forearm, which he apparently couldn't do, he actually managed to do his little flip thing off the springboard, off the ropes. Kind of like the phenomenal forearm, but where he does the somersault in midair and lands on him. And of course that made him, he sold like it totally hurt him when he landed. Couldn't even get the 3 count. Didn't look like anything AJ Styles was going to do was going to pin him. And of course nothing Jinder Mahal was going to do was going to get a 3 count. He was getting frustrated. It went on, pretty entertaining. And then finally, this is what makes AJ Styles and any wrestler like AJ Styles have an advantage over Roman Reigns. They have other ways to win a match that are believable. Whereas Roman Reigns does never ever win a match until he spears the guy. And it'll be a spear, it'll be one solid spear. Well, occasionally 2, he'll not win on the first one and get the second one. But that's all he ever wins with is a spear. AJ Styles actually ends up slipping Jinder Mahal after a huge fight and everything seeming against him into the calf crusher, his submission hold, and Jinder Mahal actually taps out to end his run. that's what makes AJ Styles more phenomenal than most wrestlers. He has other believable moves that win matches. Sometimes he'll win with the phenomenal forearm, not as much as could be. Sometimes he'll win with the Styles Clash. And then other times he'll win with the submission hold, the calf crusher. You don't know how the match is going to end with AJ Styles. That's what makes it great. They need to find some way to make a guy like Roman Reigns have some other finishers that can end a match reasonably. But it's not always wait for the spear, wait for it, there's the spear, and it's over. They need to mix it up. They need variety. Roman Reigns will never be a long-term champion if all his matches end exactly the same way. So they need to figure that one out. But anyways, of course, just before the calf crusher, Jinder Mahal is trying to go for a Styles Clash on AJ Styles. Actually, I had him trying to do AJ's finisher, but that's when AJ slips him into the calf crusher. And actually, Jinder Mahal tried to get to the ropes to get out of it. AJ Styles dragged him into the center of the ring and put it right back on him again, giving, making some drama, and finally giving Jinder Mahal no choice but to tap out, end his run, as a contender for the WWE Championship, and keep AJ Styles as WWE Champion. Phenomenal! Probably heading into the WrestleMania season, unless something drastic happens at the Royal Rumble, which, I don't see any reason why you haven't dropped the title at Royal Rumble. If anything, you're going to have someone like a John Cena win the Royal Rumble, come in as a surprise entry, and win the Royal Rumble and face him at WrestleMania. That would be okay. Although some people would say they like to see Shinsuke Nakamura or someone in a match like that, but I don't see any reason for AJ Styles to drop the U.S. Championship until WrestleMania, if at all. So, and of course, if he faces John Cena, well, you know what's going to happen. That'll be John Cena's record-breaking championship. Makes sense to have it at WrestleMania. AJ Styles will have could have the title for these months leading into it. It would be a good story and make a lot of sense. That's most likely what I think they're going to go with, and have John Cena somehow surprise everybody with the Royal Rumble. But anyways, this match was pretty good. I gave it a B. It wasn't an amazing match. Certainly wasn't the caliber of the tag team Fatal 4-Way, but it was worth watching. The whole show, pretty solid matches. The worst match was a squash match. I only give a C. And, of course, the women's Lumberjill Championship match, C+. But overall, these matches were watchable. And this was a card that I would have thought was going to be a C from start to finish. There was so, much meh going into the card. I didn't really see it being as entertaining as it was. So, I happily give this show overall a B- because I think it deserves it. They gave everything they could. They had good wrestling. Yeah, the match, the main feature match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn saving their careers was clumsy. But they created drama, they told stories, created some kind of weird story with between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, and of course had the faction of the Yep movement, form, and it looks like that's what's happening with Daniel Bryan for the time being. And who knows, maybe somewhere in there, all this is happening because they are secretly trying to clear Daniel Bryan for a match. And him against Shane McMahon, I would love it. In a way, I'd love to see him against Triple H, but that's probably never going to happen. Triple H is probably too dominant of a wrestler when he wrestles to ever give a good match to Shane McMahon. So maybe that's what they're trying to avoid, is they don't think it'd be believable having Shane McMahon, who's a smaller guy, against Triple H, who's a dominating brute of a man. Maybe they just don't think they could make it believable. I don't know. But I think that would be one of my matches I'd love to see. But if it were to be Daniel Bryan in one more match against Shane McMahon, I think we'd all go nuts over it, man. And we would love to see Daniel Bryan have one more chance to perform in WWE. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. I think WWE still doesn't see the risk worthwhile to have Daniel Bryan wrestle. They're trying to give him something to make him feel like he's important and to give him a chance to perform and be part of wrestling without actually taking any serious bumps that could damage his brain. And probably for the best and for the right reasons. Whether Daniel Bryan will accept it, I don't know, his contract's running out. Probably not. He's probably going to do something to regain his glory days a little bit on the indie scene, most likely. But anyways, that remains to be seen. But yeah, no, fairly solid card. Or just check it out. Definitely worth the watch. I liked it. I found it entertaining, so that's all I can ask in a pay-per-view. But anyways, that's all. What more can be said about it? Anyways, once again, I'm Daniel Jobber, Edmonton area's own D-Job. And this was the Jobbing with Daniel Jobber Clash of Champions review and results show. Thanks for watching that part. Once again, proudly affiliated with the Backbreaker Media, which is formerly the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network. Check it out. As I said, there's it's still all the same great content, and of course you can check it out on YouTube, on the Backbreaker Media channel. Check it out on Google Play, Apple or iTunes Store, and also on the amazing site app Podbean. So great, lots of ways to check it out. As always, they have Mike the Ref's own shows, The Blown Call and Quick Calls, action from the CWC Evolution, and of course the Sounds of Struggle podcast from the amazing Chris Parrish and Maniac, and sometimes their partner John Martins. Always entertaining, cover all sports, cover the Edmonton area, and of course wrestling. And of course they'll, on their weekly show this week, they'll do a full review of Clash of Champions as well. So check them out. They're always fun to watch. Move with them, just move with them, just move with them. The awesome theme song. And so anyways, that, and of course you can follow them. You should follow them on Twitter, because right now with the premium content, with the special trial subscription, which is, I believe, 25% off, and they give you a couple weeks of free time on that one. It's exciting, and we're starting to hear more about it, so check it out. Best way to keep in touch with Backbreaker Media is on Twitter at Backbreaker Media with a capital B and a capital M on Medi, M-E-D-I. Or you can follow Mike the Ref at Mike the Ref EDM. Follow him on Twitter. That's the easiest way to keep track. Of course, there's also the YouTube channel, which will have some information. And I suppose they probably have a web page. I haven't seen the web page yet, so I'm not sure where Mike's going with that one. But looking forward to see where Backbreaker Media goes. Proud to be affiliated with Backbreaker Media. Backbreaker Media. I just love the sound of it. I'm looking forward to coming up with my shtick regarding how to present it and stuff. But I love the name Backbreaker Media. It's just rolls off your tongue and just breathes wrestling. And with the premium content, there's going to be wrestling from the Edmonton area if we ever get wrestling back. More of that in a second. And of course, wrestling from other places as well. Content from the States, I believe, as well, which is pretty cool. Indie content you can't see anywhere else. So give it a try. Check it out. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. If I know Mike the Ref, he's cooking up some amazing stuff with this. So I'm very excited about what's going to happen with this. Yeah. Backbreaker Media, and of course, buy Backbreaker Media merch, including the Jobber Championship t-shirt at whatamaneuver.net, which is https://whatamaneuver.net/collections/Edmonton-SPN. Of course, it's all lowercase. You can get the media there, or the merchandise there, the t-shirts and hoodies and baby onesies. But now, of course, in a minute I'll give you my piece as well, because I have my own stuff that I want to promote. But first off, I want to say, before that, I want to talk about, let's keep this protest going to stop the Edmonton Council and whatever programs are in place to do it, from keeping this ban on the contact sports, including wrestling, because, like I said, wrestling is no more violent, combative, and that than hockey or football. In fact, in many ways, those are more competitive because they're trying to outdo each other and beat each other physically every time every play, every moment. Whereas in wrestling, it's still a partnership. It is a performance. They're trying to help each other and keep each other from getting hurt. It is not truly a combative sport. It is an entertainment media. It is an art form. It does not deserve to be lumped in with other contact combative sports and be part of this 1-year ban. We need to complain, we need to fight, we need to let the Edmonton officials know that we don't approve of this. I mean, what more can I say? It's a travesty that it's even come to this point. We need to protest, we need to fight, we need to cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war. So anyways, I urge you guys to find your way to get your voice heard. Let's get wrestling back in Edmonton. This just can't happen. It's not right. Certainly not for a year. I mean, give it a month to get people to rest over, after the tragedy that happened, and let's move on. Let's move forward. And let's recognize that wrestling is different. I don't know. sickens me every time I think about what's going on in the Edmonton area. And it's wrong. It's hurting the wrestling industry that had Alberta helped build over blood, sweat, and tears of the Hart family. And I don't know. I just not happy about it at all, as you can probably tell. So, but anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm the Edmonton Area's own D-Job, Daniel Jobber. You can follow me on Twitter at Daniel Jobber, capital D, capital J. And of course, I'm awesome on Instagram under Daniel Jobber, all lowercase letters. Check me out. Subscribe to me on my YouTube channel under Daniel Jobber. And check out my website, danimaljobber.ca. The different ways to support me. I don't get paid for what I do. I do it freely. I do it for my passion. So if you want to donate and help me out, Patreon is one way. The easier way is probably just to donate to my PayPal, which is, the links are right on my website, danimaljobber.ca. Or you can buy these lovely shirts and hoodies and that sort of thing. I'm getting a hoodie for Christmas. Looking forward to wearing my nice shiny black hoodie. These videos, I think the hoodie is great. And they're easy to order from whatamaneuver.net. And you can actually find the link to get to whatamaneuver.net right on my website, danimaljobber.ca, with the merchandise tab at the top of the screen. So that's the best way to support me, is buy a shirt, buy a hoodie. Buy it for your friends, buy a baby onesie for your baby, or a child size, or buy a shirt for your girl, and it's supporting the Backbreaker Media as well, because we're all part of the same affiliation there, all courtesy of Mike the Ref's work. So I really appreciate that. And of course, the guys at whatamaneuver.net make great clothes, great shirts. I love this shirt. I wear it, as you see, every chance I get. So yeah. Check it out. Oh, and if you do go to my website as well, you're supporting me, please do me a favor, sign up for Discus, and leave me a comment. Let me know you watch me. Let me know you like to watch what I do. Let me know what you think. Throw me challenges, throw me questions, maybe even something you'd like to see. Give me some kind of feedback. I don't think I've ever got any feedback on Discus, and it's too bad, because it's such a great format for people on the internet to communicate with their web content creators and create that bond and that connection. And I'd like to get to know who you all are, So, yeah, please do. Leave me comments. As I like to do, leave me words and comments. Talk to me. So, yeah, I hope you'll do that, because I like to hear from you all. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Once again, this was the review show for Clash of Champions, Jobbing Out with Daniel Jobber series. Thanks for watching. Love you all. You're my heart. Appreciate, all the support you guys give me. And keep supporting Backbreaker Media as well. And I'll talk to you next time. Jobber out.
Time to do the job. Time to do the job. Behold the jobber of jobbers. Daniel Jobber.